first thing you want to do is go to this website, silentwolf.com, and sign up. When you're here, you click new game and call it like whatever you want, and then you submit. What you want to do is keep your API key private, so I'm going to blur mine, but just never show this to anyone ever. And then what we're going to do is go to download, and we're going to be using this tutorial with Godot 3.5, so just download this plugin here and follow these instructions. Then we're going to go to our dashboard, which you can go by going to features and going to your Silent Wolf dashboard. And here's going to be all our game like stuff if we ever need it, like our game ID and our API key if you forgot or didn't copy paste it. Now go to your projects. Now when you're in your Godot project, go to project settings and make sure you have a global variable and this Silent Wolf variable, as you also had to have when you were following the instructions. Then we're going to go to our main game and go to script and go to our global script. In here, what we're going to have to do is like connect to our Silent Wolf leaderboard. So we put this function we put this function here on. As soon as the game starts, it's gonna log into pretty much your Silent Wolf account and go to your game. In here, if you forgot your API key or your leaderboard ID, as I just said, in this tab it showed it all. So my game ID is this. I go here and put in the game ID, not the API key, and I'll click view your API key and copy that. Now we're going to also be putting two variables, a player name and a player list. After that, we're going to put in a physics function with a function leaderboard inside, and in this function we're going to write this stuff as you see here. So it pretty much for every player name ever, it's going to put it inside this list pretty much. That's what exactly these two lines do. And that's pretty much our global script. Now we can go to our main game. In our main game, the way you get your score. For me, I just click this button and it increases my score, decreases, and I click submit. So pretty much whatever you want to do in the script is like you're gonna want to save it into this score ID. And for me, I open up like a menu to write your player in. So you're gonna need to put in these two lines pretty much. Like if global.close menu is equal to, which I had here. But you don't need that. It's like however you get your like player name, you gotta put this here. And you're gonna say var score ID is equal to this line of code, then this line of code, and so you can just pause the video if you need to type it out. By the way, this is all my GitHub in the link in the description, including Silent Wolf's link, and you can join our Discord if you need help. This video was requested by someone in our Discord because they needed help. And then we're gonna print something to make sure it's like saved. This pretty much just says score was like successfully saved, and say your score ID. And that's pretty much whatever we need. That's like everything we need for this like script here. That's pretty much all we need. Now you need to wait to get your player name. So pretty much I have this color background, a player name label, and a press enter label, and a line edit. And in the line edit, you also have to put this in the script. And in the line edit, you're going to say the text entered and connected to like the parent, which is player name, which is just a control node in the script. And it's going to bring up this function here. Change this to player text, and then put in these 3 lines of code. This just tells me to close my menu because the player entered its stuff, and this is going to print the player text as a debug thing. You don't really need it. And this is what it does. This says the global player name is equal to player text. What player text is like whatever you enter, it's going to get saved into player text, and then player text will be saved into like player name. And that's pretty much what this does. And we're done. Now this is where it gets hard. This is why I struggled a lot with this. But what we're going to do is go to a leaderboard. For me, I just have a color. I have this background, another background, and then on this background with a name, position, and like score label. And then a scroll container. And inside that, you want to put a grid container, okay? And for me, this is the size. And then like the player name, for like the grid container, you can put a script. And this script we're going to be putting lots of code in. So first, what you want to have is, for some reason mine didn't show here, but you want to have this extend grid container because you put in a grid container. Then you're going to put 2 lines of code, 2 variables actually, a font, which is dynamic font. This is so we're going to be making labels inside this code, and we want to change the font so it looks cool. And then like a player list with position. This is a list. Then the function ready, we're going to be putting in these stuff. So first, what you want to do is like get your font. I already have a font here, and you just like drag it into it and inside quotation marks. Put your outline size and whatever you want your outline color to be. Mine's black, just pitch black. And that's it. And this is like the size of it, the thickness kind of. Again, you don't need this, but I just want it so like my font, like it looks cool, not the default font. And then we're going to be putting this line of code. Retrieve the score, and number, 0 means how much the score should be retrieved. 0 means like every single score put will be retrieved. 16 means like any number you put in. If I put 1, only 1 score will be retrieved. 5 scores will be retrieved. 10 this. But 0 retrieves every single score ever there is. Oh, and you also want to put this in. I don't know why, but it's cut it off. So, and then we get the playlist with position is equal to sort player and add position, which is silentwolf.score.score. So this is pretty much just getting like this silentwolf.score.score is pretty much where all your scores are saved into and retrieved, right? And then we make a and it's a different function called add player to grid, playlist with pose. Then we're going to be making a function here, function add player to grid, and we're going to be making an argument saying playlist. And then in here, we're going to be making a var pose vbox container new, and a name underscore vbox equals vbox container dot new, and another one. Then we're going to be wanting to put in these couple lines of code. So for score data in player list with pose, which has like all our silentwolf score data, we're gonna want to like make a new label called a pose label, and added a font override with our font being the variable font, which we had. Then we're going to be putting in these 2 more lines. So we're going to change the text into a string of the score data position. So this is our score data is like this thing here, and because this is an array, we're going to have to be putting position to like retrieve it. And then we're going to be showing it. And here we're going to do this vbox.addChild position label. So we're going to be adding the position label to the vbox, which is the good, and the vbox is under the grid container. So it like sorts it out kind of into columns. And then we're going to be putting in addChild outside the for loop position vbox. Into like, because we made the vbox, but we never actually added it to our like grid container. We just made it. Then we gotta add it. And you're gonna want to you don't want to just duplicate this 2 more times, but changing the stuff. So this time I'm going to this time I'm going to make a name label, and then name vbox. It's just the same thing. And do it again for the score. And that's pretty much how we make it. Now, the way we sort the positions, because for positions, you want a way you can sort it from like whoever has the highest score is number 1. Whoever has the lowest is number like 20. For example, just 20 scores. And we're going to be putting this function here with the player list as an argument, and we're going to do a sort custom/custom compounder and like sort descending. Which then we're going to be putting these couple lines of code. Var position is equal to first. For player in player list position is equal to position. And for pretty much every player in the list, the position is going to go up by 1. This isn't sorted yet, but this kind of like makes every player have their own position. And then we're going to be returning player list so we can edit it later. And now we're going to make a a custom comparator. So to do a class custom comparator, I'm going to add these 2 lines of code. this is sorted from whoever has the highest score. So then we're also going to be putting in these 2 lines. And make sure it's indented. So if like A score is higher than B, it's going to return true. If not, it's going to return false. And this pretty much is, again, I'm trying to say, it just like sorts it from whoever has the highest score. Now that's pretty much it. We did all of it actually. And now if you run it from the main menu, we click play. Score, let's say 20. I'm going to say hello. I clicked enter. You see hello's here, and I click submit. And you see all this line happen. It just saved it. Then we can say world and click submit. Maybe we can decrease it to 10 and say this thing. And now if we go to test it, we got subscribe to Art and the Coder. Yeah, you guys should subscribe. Also join our Discord if you ever need help in Godot, and that's pretty much an online leaderboard. You can just and you can publish your game on itch or something, and when people submit stuff, it just shows it in all the way here. Also wait, I have to tell you this. If you ever want to wipe your entire leaderboard, you gotta do it without deleting your leaderboard. You just do silentwolf.score.wipe leaderboard, wherever you want. But make sure, because it's permanently deleting it, so there's no going back. So be really careful with that. Bye bye.